At the baby age of being just 18 years old, Hannah Montana star Miley Cyrus is filmed by video cameras doing a Michael Phelps as she was caught smoking from a glass bong, a hallucinogenic. In the aftermath of one of the most controversial score prize fights of 2010, will Bernard Hopkins B-Hop be rewarded with an immediate rematch to lift the light heavyweight championship in a second go-around against the champion, Canadian's own John Pascal? And stay tuned, Central Florida of Orlando, Florida, with the signing of Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas, and the return of Hedo Turkoglu to the Orlando Magic, translate to an NBA Finals appearance in 2011 as we welcome you to another episode of the Entertainment Roundtable. Tim Tebow or not Tim Tebow? That is the question. Tim Tebow finished 8 of 16 of 138 yards and a score. Tebow also rushed for 78 yards and a touchdown on only 8 attempts, including a 40-yard gain in the Broncos' 39-23 loss to the Raiders. If Tim Tebow continues to progress and moving forward in his quarterback audition of his, only to get benched again, or even worse, gets cut from the team before getting his fair shot of developing, cultivating his pro game, how much then would have been a loss would this have been in a waste of a first-round draft pick and all the money that was spent and so on if the Broncos organization selecting Tim Tebow in the first place? Alex?
Yeah, I mean, if you invest all this money, all this time, all the trades to get him and just to bench him, it makes no sense. It's like the Cleveland Cavaliers investing all this money to get Kobe Bryant and not use him. It makes no sense. I know he's a pro, and, Tim Tebow's a rookie, but you get where I'm going here. Let him prove himself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at. Let him prove himself. And, well, that's all he did pretty good. I know there's haters saying, he sucks, he stinks, there's those Tim Tebow heads out there. And, he didn't do as well as he's supposed to, in his pro debut. Let's get the record straight on this. He hasn't the last time I saw him play was in the bowl game, which was, I believe, a year or so ago since that last happened. So he's been, sure he practiced. I'm sure he practiced like everyone else. But as far as playing in an actual game, it's been a pretty long time since that bowl game in which he played back in college. So I'm pretty sure the reason why he didn't play as up to the people's standards because, well, he was rusty. And for a rusty person, he did pretty damn good for a person that had played a lot of football in a while. So I'm pretty impressed. And then other people saying, oh, well, he's just a runner, he can't throw. Look at Michael Vick now. The Eagles are one of the top teams in the NFL, and he's throwing like a monster. And the reason that is because when I heard recently before we started the show, I was watching ESPN, they found a good quarterback coach, if I'm not mistaken, to work on his throwing. And now he's throwing amazing. He's throwing amazing. He's all the amazing passes and yards like what he never did before when he was with the Falcons. It goes to show you if you really believe in someone and invest in somebody, they can get better. So they really want Tim Tebow to get better, invest in him, get quarterback coaches, whatever he needs to get better. Because if they just bench him and not use him, all that money and stuff and effort just went to waste.
Yeah, just give the man time and reps. That's all we're asking for. And now for some New York news. With Walt Disney World's purchase of Marvel Comics, headquarters New York City, with the Boxing Hall of Fame, which is also located in New York, as it concerns the Boxing Hall of Fame, it recently inducted the likes of Julio Cesar Chavez, good, Iron Mike Tyson, great, and even Hollywood's own Sylvester Stallone. Ooh. All the powers that be of NYC are trying to dance around utilizing some lateral movement around the issue of legalizing mixed martial arts and hoping that the layers of alternatives of entertainment and events will suffice. Alex, what you think?
It's like I said, like I told my brother before when we were talking about this. It's like they have a really bad like bad cut, and instead of going to the hospital and getting surgery to to sew it up and clean it, they just put band-aids over it. Sure, it may stop the bleeding, it may stop you from losing blood loss, but it doesn't necessarily heal the wound. You need to go and take care of it. So dancing around MMA and not legalizing it, yeah, it may give them what they need for now, but it is keep dancing around it because eventually, Marvel's not gonna be around forever. Or it might not be around forever, and even if it is, that not every show or every movie is gonna be successful. There are gonna be those flops. It does happen. I mean, I know it's rare when it happens, but it has happened before. So they can depend on.
Hey, some people didn't like Iron Man 2.
I know. Personally, I loved it, but I went to IGN.com, and they find it's one of the top 10 disappointing films of this year, which I totally disagree. But there's people that don't like Iron Man 2, so there's gonna be those people that don't like the movie, even if it's good. There's people that I know didn't like Dark Knight. As good as that movie is, there's people I find that hated Dark Knight. So they can't just depend on this one thing. It should just depend on several things. And so you give every man a chance. I mean, it's done everything. I mean, stripped down to make it legal. So I don't know what's the deal of them dancing around it all the time. I don't know. I mean, they should just give it a chance. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Really, nothing's gonna happen bad. So they should just give it a chance and see where it goes. In my opinion.
With the absorption of the WEC promotion by the UFC, on WEC 53, a crossover star, in my opinion, was born as Anthony Showtime Pettis Matrix kicked the WEC Lightweight Championship from Smooth Ben Henderson. Orlando's own Jonathan Brookins, is the Ultimate Fighter Season 12 winner. And in UFC 124, by the UFC, GSP beat the SHIT out of Josh Koscheck. Alex, your views on all three?
I'm very happy about Josh Koscheck losing that fight. I mean, he's talking all that crap, claiming he's gotten better, claiming it just goes to show you how not better he's gotten. Because in the show, you see how he coaches people. I mean, he just trained them this stuff. He just trained them how if you're a sensei and you try to teach people how to coach someone on a between right and wrong and all that stuff, Josh Koscheck shows you how not to train up your up-and-comers, because you show them how to be bullies, how to be mean, how to do nasty stuff when they win. So George Scipio is the ultimate example of how you train somebody. And Josh Koscheck trained with all that because all his fighters got eliminated. And the only one that was left was Nan Fan, but to go to the finals, but he got eliminated too. It was mostly just George's finalists. His students that made it to the finals. None of
for the record, the only thing he did win was the coach's challenge.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only thing That's the only one thing he won was the coach's challenge. Big flipping deal. And at the end of the day, when he went to perform for the title, he lost badly. He got out jabbed and outstruck. And sure, he may have stopped the takedowns from GSP, but I mean, he could have stopped that jab, and which at the end of the day,
ultimately he choked.
He did. He choked big time. Jonathan Brookins, I'm real happy about that. I am just so happy about Jonathan Brookins winning that Ultimate Fire. I mean,
preach it. Yeah.
The only thing I would say about that fight after I saw it live was he needs to work on his stand-up, because if he doesn't, he's going to get destroyed. I mean, Michael Johnson, or whatever his name is, Michael Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost knocked him out. I mean, really bad. I mean, for those of you that saw it, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who didn't, look it up on YouTube or find a video on something, trust me. The fight was good, but his stand-up was horrible. He needs to work on his stand-up. I mean, stand-up was the ground game, because wrestling's fantastic. That's no doubt about it. He has one of the best wrestling for this season, but he needs to work on his stand-up. You can do that, he could be a big monster in this league. Even he's admitted that he needs to work on it. So
just ask all the guys he submitted on the show.
Right.
About his ground game.
Yeah, so his ground game is nothing to worry about. He has nothing to worry about. When it comes to his wrestling, he's good, but he needs to work on his stand-up. If he can do that, well, he's gonna be a dangerous new threat in that division that he's in.
And your thoughts on Anthony Showtime's Pettis, Tony Jaa / oh my Matrix kick?
My brother, my brother here showed me that video. I just went ballistic. I mean,
straight out of Hollywood.
I mean, that is stuff you only see in the movies. You wouldn't think it's possible, because, you see the movies. I mean, it may be flashy, it may be cool, but, there's like, you would think there's no way someone would just stand there and get hit by something like that. You think they will move and I mean, it's so dodgeable, but the fact that he did it so fast and hit it, not only he connected, he actually dropped him. I think it would have been more impressive if he actually knocked him out like that. I mean, he stunned him. He stunned him real bad, and it got him the win, but I think it would have been more impressive if he knocked him out like that. But still, the fact that he was able to pull it off the cage, I mean, that's something you see in, like, those hardcore kung fu movie cinema things. I mean, it was something out of a movie. It was.
If a knockout would occur, would that win a knockout of the year, hands down?
I think so. I mean, I've seen some brutal knockouts this year, but I probably would have taken. If not knockout, at least for most creative knockout, because damn, that was amazing. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, he was a great fighter. That was just amazing. Overall, the fight was really good, but that was just the highlight of the fight right there.
And now for today's final thoughts on Floyd Mayweather with Alex.
Well, as you know, Floyd, Pacquiao was really willing to go with Floyd's demands, but Floyd decided to take a vacation. And while on vacation, while on his vacation, he's been getting into some big trouble. Big trouble, and what kind of trouble you mean? Well, stuff like hitting his security guard, if I'm not mistaken,
or a security guard, hitting his ex-girlfriend at her house and threatening her kids. So, I mean, I'm not making this up. If you want to find more info on this, go to ESPN.com to look more info on this, because where I found this information on. But if this is true, all this is true, then he's just only he's screwing himself, really. I mean, he swears that people hate him because of how he boxes. Oh, screw him. He's screwing the sport of boxing that's there right now.
Exactly. He thinks that people hate him because of his boxing skill and his wealth. I don't care if put it this way, if he were to retire and go to boxing, if he were to retire, he should go to the Boxing Hall of Fame. He deserves it. I mean, he's beaten incredible fighters, and if he's rich, so what? Good for him. I'm glad that he's doing well for him and his kids. That's not the issue. The issue is his character and how he goes about things. You know what I'm saying? And if these things are true, that it only shows that's why people don't like him. His character, how he carries himself. Because no one likes an a-hole. I mean, look at Josh Koscheck. No one likes that guy. And so Floyd should expect so Floyd should find excuses of why people should hate. He should realize the fact that he's a jerk and he's mature. You know what I'm saying? And not at least for the sake of his kids. Floyd just needs to mature. He needs to stop goofing around, getting himself into trouble like that. He's a grown man. He needs to, he has kids to raise, so he needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, he's gonna end up being in jail and or prison. And that's my thoughts on it, because that's my thoughts.
I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm like this here. I mean, I could not agree with you more. I'm like, bro, if you care anything about the sport at all that you claiming that you love, you will make this fight with Pacquiao happen like yesterday, instead of allowing us fans of having to settle for Pacquiao versus Moseley on May 7th. So then, take care. Take care, y'all. Be good, and by all means, on this holiday season, be safe.